Yeah, what's up, my people out there in YouTube world. Organic snacks, sour cherries. So tonight, what I want to talk to you guys about is the one question that I always get asked the most. I get asked this question more than any question, more than how much can you bench press? How big are your arms? Oh, well, I don't flat bench really. I do incline. The most I did on incline for reps was 465, but I would play around with 405 on incline. My arms, they're a little bit over 21s. A little bit over. So the question that I'm always being asked is, how did I get into bodybuilding? How did I get into lifting weights? How did I get into training? And when I tell, and then they like, how long you be doing this? And when I say over 30 years, they look at me like, you're not that old, you're like 20 something, right? That's because I be having this hair off my face with all these grays in it. I be like, nah. See, I started actually lifting weights because my dad, he was into lifting weights, all this shit in the projects, you know. I was about 5 years old when I very first actually touched the weight. But when I was able to actually start lifting the weight, I used to put like a 10-pound pig iron on a broomstick in the center. I used to just, I thought I was curling it, but it was just rolling up and down my chest or whatever. So I've been actually lifting weights since I was 6. Now, why did I get into lifting weights? For one, I seen my dad, my cousins, my uncles doing it. So I thought it looked cool. By the time I got like 10, 11, that's when I really started trying to take it really serious, because I found out that it takes me somewhere. When I'm lifting weights, it's kind of like, you know, I'm a biker, so only a biker will understand this. A biker, either, you know, when you're on a bike, it's like nothing else matters. You just zone out. It's only you and the road. And when I grab them weights, nothing around me matters. Nothing. So I was young, and, you know, I had a real troubled childhood, you know, from abuse to the drug shits, the different gangs, becoming a part of a gang and all this shit by the age of 12. So, like, I talked about a lot of it in my documentary. So, like, when I used to get my ass beat, by, like, you know, my mom or my pops or whatever, I get so angry. And then I just grab dumbbells and I just be, like, doing a whole lot of, like, hammer curls. And at the time, I didn't know they was hammer curls. And I'm just doing a lot across the chest. And when I'm done, I throw it, boom. I throw it down. And I look around me, I'm expecting to get in trouble. I don't get in trouble. The weights can't tell on me. And right then and there is when I was like, ooh, I could take all my frustration out on these weights. All my frustration. So by the time I hit like 13, I just got worse. I was real bad. You know, I was 13, fucking stealing cars and shit. See, I did a lot of this shit as a young youth. You know, I didn't wait till I got in my 40s to want to be all like I'm from these streets and having this hard life. Like, no, like, that's why I try to raise my kids different. I do my best. Yeah, I use a lot of profanity, but I'm working on it. I do my best, but I'm not bringing them up the way I was. It's not obligated for them to be in a gang. It's not obligated for them to sell drugs. You know, it's mandatory for them to go to school and get good grades. I didn't have to go to school if I didn't have to. My parents didn't really give a shit about none of that. So still I had them weights. You know what I'm saying? Them weights. So I was in middle school to junior high. We had weightlifting classes. We had weightlifting classes and posing classes. So I would get in that and I get thrown out because I couldn't shake from being a fuck up. You know, I couldn't shake it. You know, and it all started because I always wore glasses since I was like maybe 4 years old. So I can remember that a lot of the big kids would lick their fingers and put their fingers on my glasses. So I'd just be crying and shit, crying and just... So I didn't get into the weights for that. I just became bad once I got to the level and age to where I can just torment people. I did exactly that. I did exactly that. And it shows because how when all that bullshit that was going on at the expo prior up to it, how I just stayed on Hellboy's ass because I was comfortable in that zone. That's why I always try to escape that shit. Bodybuilding takes me from that. Lifting weights takes me from that. But the bullshit is easy to get into. That's why it was so easy for me to be comfortable with being on some stupid, ignorant ass shit. Because that's where I come from. I was bred to be that way. And I know that ain't the right way, right? So, I got into high school. Now we got big weights. I thought I was the man. I'm like, I had some 13-inch arms. I felt like they was 20s. So, there's a lot of big old 12th graders, 11th graders, 10th graders in that motherfucker really throwing 225 around, 315 around, 185, 205, and I'm just looking. And I'm struggling with 25s on the bar, on the bench. 25s. And I'm like, damn, like I thought I was the man. Shit, man. Weights will humble your ass. It humbled me. So then I started taking the classes, the proper way how to train, the proper way how to split the muscle groups. And, you know, I did all of that. But I was still bad. I was still getting my ass thrown out because I want to be like leader of the gang in high school. I want to be in that motherfucker selling weed, gang banging, not going to class, cussing the teachers out, you know, tripping out on my teachers and everything. Like I told you, my parents didn't give a shit. So the only thing that gave a fuck about me was that gym, them weights. You know, like if I'm having a good day, I could go in there and do what I want to do with them. I'm having a bad day, I could do what I want to do with them. You know what I'm saying? And still right now, I do the same exact shit. The same exact shit. I graduated high school, went to college, and started taking more classes on how to learn about the body, anatomy, and the proper way of training, and the proper way of lifting weights. And, you know, I aced those type of classes. It was just everything else. And, you know, I dropped out of college because I wound up having my first daughter too early. So I had to pick and choose, like either I stay in college, her mom drop out, or I just drop out and let her mom do her thing. So I chose to drop out to be more responsible because I made my bed, I had to lie in it. So I actually got into weights to try to stay away from a lot of trouble and a lot of dumb shit, you know. And I know there's a lot of you out there, a lot of you guys out there that's having a lot of issues, a lot of problems with your girl, with your parents, with your dudes or whatever. When you go in that gym, nothing else matters, you know. And if that's the case and everything, and you're going to do that, try to do it real seriously because you can actually hurt yourself in the gym, you know. I've seen a lot of people's hurt themselves in the gym being too angry. Now, if you angry, you can't be frustrated lifting weights. You can't be angry lifting weights. You just take all that anger and use that as a push. I've seen dudes bust their thumbs off, sitting there throwing the weight up, angry throwing the weight up, and they just fall and bust all their grill out, you know, angry, mad, you know. So it's like you use the fuel right. You use it the right way. You don't go in there and just start manhandling them weights because you can really hurt yourself up in there. So when you go up in there, use that as your outlet. And you do it right. And when you're done, if you can't afford a full course meal, try to go to The grocery store get you a loaf of bread and peanut butter, jelly or whatever. Make your sandwiches, get cans of Spam, make your sandwiches, take them with you. You know, like I ain't been in a situation where I couldn't afford a lot of food. I used to have to eat food from the churches, all the little free shit. I used to have to do that. I didn't always have it to where I could just go eat what I want to eat. My kids don't know how it is to go through that. And I pray to God that they don't ever have to know how it is to go through that feeling, to not knowing what you're going to eat, when your next meal going to come. Like, you know, I had to really do that. I really had to go through that, because as you get older, don't nobody care. Don't nobody care once you get older. You're not a baby cub anymore. You're not cute anymore. Shit, I've never been cute, but you know, you're not cute anymore. When my parents split, my dad, he just left. He didn't give a fuck about the kids and all of that. He didn't care that we wasn't done with school. He left, and I had a good life. Like, we had everything financially and material that you can dream of. But once he left, he didn't give a fuck. And we was struggling, you know. And we was struggling, and that was a really valuable lesson for me. And that's why I try to handle my responsibilities. And that's why when I feel like if I let a person into my comfort zone and they show me like I'm an outsider, I spare no expenses on breaking them down. None. And if there ever be an issue. So that's how Mack Truck got into lifting weights, trying to escape a bad situation. And I'm going to continue doing that. This is my outlet. And that's what I'm going to do until the day I can't do it anymore. Something like Ronnie Coleman. He going to keep on doing this shit until he can't no more, like the rest of us iron heads, you know. So that's just, I don't know if y'all going to like this video or not, if it makes sense to you guys. I just felt like that's the best way I can explain the question that you guys be constantly asking me. And I don't mean to be rambling about it, but that's just my story. That's my 2 cents. My whole dollar, since a lot of y'all don't like me saying that because Rich made that word up. Stupid. Not for real. Anyway, yeah, but nah, I hope y'all really can take something from this, because right now it might don't make sense, but later it will. Just keep on trucking. Just keep on trucking. You know, don't get too mad to go out there and do something stupid. Go to the gym, take it out on them weights, beat them weights up. Don't be too aggressive to where you hurt yourself. And I'm up out of here. So I'll holler at y'all later. Yeah.